Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is Brandon Meeks. I just want to jump on here today and talk a little bit about the pitfalls of doing online session work. So, what that basically means, if you're a musician and you have the ability to send and receive files, you can actually make money by recording your instrument for various songs and sending the files in exchange for payment. So with anything dealing with money, there's always like some risks and things you want to watch out for when you're just dealing with people and doing work for people. So the first thing that I would say you want to watch out for is just in presenting yourself, you want to be very clear about what you can and cannot offer and what you can and cannot do. Personally, I recently had a situation involving an upright bass track where someone needed someone who could play with a bow, and that's not what I do. But I wasn't upfront about that, so then I had to in the middle of the selling process, I had to go back and say, "Oh, I realize you need someone who can play with a bow on this. I can't do that." So I kind of ended up wasting a person's time a little bit just by not being clear about what I can and cannot do up front. So that's something you definitely want to be careful with in doing session work online for people. Secondly is you gotta set boundaries when it comes to the revision process. A lot of times when you're doing session work, and especially with music, because it can be very subjective, and a person can have a very particular creative vision when it comes to what they want from your instrument. So you have to respect that, but at the same time you have to be careful to not get abused in the revision process. So you want to set limits on how many revisions you will do for free. Typically, I kind of do like one for free, and then beyond that, I have to be paid extra for additional revisions. A lot of times, you'll get people who will agree to pay you for one revision, but what they'll do is they'll send you a message for one revision, but they'll list like several different things, like, oh, I want you to go in and play this with a little bit more feeling. Oh, I want you to change this out and then do this and do that. But they'll try to structure it as like one revision. So in that kind of situation, you kind of have to take control and say, hey, a revision is one specific change to one specific part of the song. I'll change that for free. But if you need me to do multiple things, then there's a cost for that. So whatever your boundary is, you have to be very clear and specific with that. Otherwise, people will have you. They'll give you very little direction up front, and then they'll kind of just tweak and tweak and tweak and tweak and tweak until they get it the exact way they want it, but they're not taking your time into account. Whereas if they just come and say, hey, this is what I need it to be like this and this and this and this, and just tell you that up front. Most likely if you're a good musician, you can just do it up front, but if you don't set a boundary, people will definitely get the best of you in the revision process. Thirdly, I would say just watch out for indecisive clients. And this kind of ties in with the previous thing that I was just talking about. Well, you'll have people that will approach you to do a track, and they'll be very vague and open-ended about what they want. One example for me is what I had a person who does poetry approach me about doing a track to a poem. And they basically just said, hey, I need some bass on this, and I just need it kind of jazzy. So that can be interpreted in a lot of different ways. So I just went ahead and said, oh, well, they just kind of just want me to do my thing on this, and I can just play whatever I want and give it to them. So I went ahead and did that, and then and normally when you're dealing with that kind of personality, they don't know what they want until you actually spend time doing something. So I went and sent this person a track, and then they're like, oh, well, I need it more jazzy. I need it to be in a lower octave, and I need this and that. All things that they should have told me. Like if they wanted something specific, they should have told me that up front. And but even in describing the changes that they wanted, they still were talking in very ambiguous, open-ended terms. So I ended up having to say, hey, I've already spent time on this, and I really can't spend any more time trying to guess what you want. So I'm going to just go ahead and we'll just cancel it. You can keep the track that I've already done for you, and we'll just let it be as that. But you definitely want to watch out for people that aren't clear about what they need you to do. So as much as possible, have people send you sheet music or a chord chart a sample recording, if they have a sample recording of the instrument that they want you to track. Try to get as much information from people as possible so that you can do what they need you to do the first time, and you're not going back and forth, spending more and more time on something that you really could knock out in the first 1 or 2 tries. So just to recap, you want to be very clear about what it is that you can and cannot do. You want to be very careful to set boundaries in the revision process. Don't let people just get hundreds of revisions from you and not pay for it. And thirdly, you want to just hold your clients accountable for being very clear about what they need you to do so that you can do it right the first time. But those are 3 main things that I've come across in doing this. But if you have more, let me know in the comments, or what your thoughts, if you agree or disagree. Also, last but not least, if you are looking for somebody to play bass on your song, you got a track that you just need somebody to record bass on, reach out to me. I'm on Fiverr.com. It's Brandon Meeks, or you can just send me an email and we can talk about it there. But yeah, I do session work online all the time, so definitely let me know if you need me to play bass on your song. All right, peace. Hey, what's up, y'all? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, please check me out over on Patreon. For just as little as $1 a month, you can help me reach new people, tour new cities, and broaden my audience. Plus, you'll get access to all my hidden music. So hit me up over there, and I'll holler at y'all later. Thanks.